Hello, it's another patch memory, but this one's going to be a bit different to the other ones. The reason being is that when I started sitting down to make this video, I had an idea, which was I was going to be using, I will show you, the 4MS Spectral Multiband Resonator and the Serge random source triple Waveshaper, because it's a patch that I used to do all the time back when I lived in Brighton, and I used to play quite often at the Brighton modular sessions, which were fantastic improvised events. And this patch always used to be part of a kind of greater patch. I mean, not always, but often part of a greater other patch. And it would bring in all these kind of interesting tones and textures, chaotic stuff. So I thought that would be a really good video. But then every time I sat down to try and make this video, I just got lost in the patch, started, kind of developing into a jam, a tune. And I kind of realised also it's not going to make a very good sample pack just because of the nature of the sounds. So what I decided to do is make two videos. One of them I've already made, which is a jam of me playing this patch out on my terrace. You can look at me there making horrible chaotic noise and see if you like it or not. And then I thought I'd also make this one, which is going to be a bit more of an explainer. You're not going to have this face in it. It's going to be a quicker video where I just talk through the patch, show you a couple of the sounds, and then if you want to go and listen properly, you can go and look at the other video, which I will link below. But that's enough talking. Let's start looking at this patch. All right, so what do we have here? We have a play all day play fader, which is sequencing everything. We have a 4MS SMR Spectral Multiband Resonator, which is a kind of like a filter bank, but which in this case is not being used by passing sound through it, but just by passing triggers. And when you take the triggers out, it turns into a kind of wash of all of the filter bands which are resonating and can create chords and whatnot. And then the outputs of these, there are the odd and the even bands, which are, you can see them here. So they're different frequencies basically. Each of those are going into the top two stages of the triple Waveshaper by Serge random source. So these two are pretty similar. I think they might actually be exactly the same. So they're processing the odds and the evens from this, and the bottom is just being used as a kind of additional mangler, let's say, whereas we're not going to hear the audio from this, but the audio is getting fed back into it, and then that audio is in turn modulating the control voltage inputs of those two layers. So just very briefly, I'm going to unplug the outputs which are coming from the Waveshaper at the moment, and I'm just going to take these outputs directly from the SMR so that you can hear what it sounds like. So if I trigger from here, you get the idea. It's quite a pretty sound, just like that, right? Now, if I put through the triple Waveshaper, I'll just remove the control voltage from the two top bits of the triple Waveshapers. This one doesn't have a pot on it, so I'll unplug that one, and this one also doesn't have a pot on it, so I'll unplug that one, and the other ones are turned right down. So just going through one stage of the Waveshaper on each side. Hopefully you can hear that that's less of a kind of pure sine wave and more of a shaped wave, kind of turning into a more like a saw maybe, I'm not sure. Certainly more harmonics anyway. Okay, so now let's plug these other kind of crazy things back in. What I like doing is modulating kind of inputs from outputs. So the CV inputs are often coming from the opposite output. So we've got a left and a right, so the right will be modulating the left and the left will be modulating the right, and that's what's happening on these CV these control voltage inputs here. So the top channel is modulating, follow the yellow cable, the middle channel, and the middle channel, follow this yellow cable, is modulating the top channel. Now you've noticed that I've also got some other CV inputs here, and they are being fed by this down here, which is a slightly more complicated Waveshaper in that it's got an additional kind of multiplier down here, which I think, if I remember correctly, kind of doubles up the shaping. So the input of this is coming from the output of the middle channel. So that's coming into the input, and then the shaped output is going to the voltage control input of this middle channel and the top channel. Additionally, the voltage controlled input here for this bottom channel, one of them anyway, is coming from, it's not actually the resonance input, because that's doubled up with the output from this fader. So that's the other thing I can do with this actually. Let me just show you that quickly. That's me controlling the resonance here. So the same thing. You get what I mean? So that means that I can use this as almost like an LFO or whatever, and it can affect this knob as well as affecting the resonance. And then the first voltage controlled input simply comes from another one of these outputs here. What this means in practice is that we get a load of cross-modulation, feedback, all of that kind of stuff, which then can start kind of getting into locked, weird, jagged loops, glitching out, all of that kind of stuff. I'll just give you a little bit of an example of what I mean. Starts bringing in some different harmonics. And then if I start bringing this up, we'll get distortion, I expect. Yeah, there you go. But where it starts getting really interesting is with these switches, which they say link on them, because what they do is they pass the signal up. So this switch passes the output from this directly into the input of this, and the same between this and that. So what that means, when I put this up, you can see already we're getting crazy feedback stuff. You know what I mean? And then let's do the top as well. Alright, but that's enough for now, because I am just going to turn that down. I'm going to allow you to watch my other video, which is the performance of this. As you might be able to see already, it's quite a performable, expressive patch. You find all sorts of unexpected and strange moments within it, where things glitch out, get locked into a weird kind of noisy groove. It's really exciting for me to be able to find these kind of patches and then play them in that way. I'm not going to do a sample pack with this video because the types of sounds this generates aren't really that suitable for sampling, but I have put up the recording from the jam that I did that you can watch in the other video onto my Bandcamp. I might put another track with that, just an older track of mine, just so that it feels a little bit more substantial. It'd be really helpful to me if you were able to buy yourself a little Christmas present of a noisy bit of music. As something that can be a bit of encouragement to continue making videos like this. As always, thanks for watching. The links for my Instagram and my website are down below. The same for the Bandcamp link. It's holiday season now, so have happy holidays wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, cheers.